They say pressure shows a person's true side, and at Silverstone, it looked like Oscar Piastri's image started to crack. He went from leading with confidence to getting caught up in one of the most confusing moments of the season, all within a few laps. It wasn't just a strange event, it felt more like a real-time drama playing out lap by lap. But the real surprise wasn't his driving. It came through a message over team radio that had fans, teams, and pundits raising eyebrows. Let's rewind a bit. Oscar was handed a 10-second time penalty for how he behaved during the safety car restart, a decision he clearly didn't like, but in the bigger picture, it could have been far worse. Still, what's grabbing everyone's attention now is something else entirely. Is Oscar starting to feel the weight of the championship fight? Right now, Lando Norris is on a roll. His performances are sharp, his form is catching everyone's eye, and Oscar seems to be falling behind, both in pace and confidence. Then came Silverstone, a race famous for unpredictable weather. It started wet, got soaked halfway through, and then dried up again. That made tire choices a lottery. One wrong guess, and your race could fall apart. In the middle of all that unpredictability came the restart on lap 18, the one that flipped the whole race upside down. Behind the spray and chaos, one moment stood out. Piastri, who had been calmly leading until that point, suddenly made a move no one expected. When the safety car pulled in, he hit the throttle, then suddenly braked hard. So hard, in fact, that Max Verstappen nearly ran straight into the back of him. The impact of that move? Massive. Verstappen lost control shortly after, and spun off. Was that entirely Oscar's fault? Probably not. But his sudden braking definitely shook Max at a crucial moment. The stewards took notice and slapped Oscar with a 10-second penalty. And with Lando charging fast behind, that was more than enough to take away Oscar's shot at winning. The moment Oscar served that penalty, his race changed. What had started as a promising lead turned into another second-place finish. But just when fans thought the drama was over, Piastri lit up the team radio with a message no one saw coming. After switching to slick tires and serving the penalty during his final pit stop, he spoke up calmly, but firmly. "I don't think the penalty before was very fair," he said. "I mean, I know it's a big question, but if you don't think it was fair either, I think we should swap back and race." That message shook people across the paddock. Was he actually asking the team to give him the lead back from Norris? In the middle of a race, based on a penalty that came straight from the rulebook, Oscar's move had been clear: a hard brake during a safety car restart. That's one of the few things that's absolutely not allowed in Formula One. The rules don't leave much room for debate on that. Sudden speed changes after the safety car lights go out are dangerous, and the penalty Oscar got wasn't even the worst possible. A stop-and-go would have ended his podium hopes completely. So in a way, the 10-second penalty could be seen as light, but Oscar's radio request, even if driven by frustration, raised questions. Was he really ready to accept hard calls in the heat of a championship? Or was this a sign that the pressure was starting to cloud his judgment? Norris, on the other hand, was focused, leading the British Grand Prix in front of a home crowd. With everything going right, he didn't flinch. He had waited years for this moment, and now he was driving for a British team on British soil with a clear shot at a dream victory. Meanwhile, Oscar was asking for the position to be handed back, not because of pace, but because he felt wronged. Formula One isn't a sport built on emotion. It's built on control, clarity, and performance. If every driver got a position back because they didn't like a decision, the sport would fall apart. After the race, Oscar didn't hide how upset he was. In interviews, his words carried sarcasm and a touch of bitterness. "I'm not going to say much. I'll get myself in trouble. Apparently you're not allowed to brake behind the safety car anymore. I did it before for 5 laps. Heck with it." That's what he said, clearly frustrated. But frustration doesn't change facts. The data, as always, laid everything bare. His car went from 220 to 50 kilometers per hour in a short stretch. That's not a small liftoff, it's a major deceleration. The FIA reviewed it, looked at the telemetry, and did what the rulebook required. A 10-second penalty, along with 2 penalty points added to his super license. Silverstone didn't just give us racing action. It revealed something more personal, signs that Oscar may be feeling the strain. With only an 8-point lead in the standings, and Lando right behind him, there's no space left for another slip, whether it's on track or in front of the cameras. When the media pushed for more answers, Oscar gave very little. His tone said more than his words. It's not the kind of response you expect from someone calm under pressure. It's the reaction of a driver who feels like things are slipping away. Meanwhile, Lando's season has picked up speed. Ever since the setback in Montreal, he's been sharper, faster, and more composed. 2 wins in a row have shifted the balance completely. While Oscar is starting to look over his shoulder, Lando is charging forward. And the timing couldn't be more crucial. The MCL 3.9 is performing well in every condition. Wet, dry, mixed. That car is giving both drivers a real chance at the title. But now, the question isn't about who has the better car, it's about who can handle the pressure better. Can Oscar regain his focus? Or will Lando keep riding this wave all the way to the top? Just a year ago, many were questioning Lando Norris's ability to handle high-pressure situations. He had the speed, the skill, and the potential, but there were doubts. Missed podiums, Latrace mistakes, small misjudgments it felt like. Something always went wrong when it mattered most. Critics said he lacked the edge needed to turn good drives into great results. Fast forward to now, and it's a different story. Lando looks sharper, more focused, and most importantly, he's delivering. Ironically, Oscar's rise may have been the very thing that lit a fire under him. Nothing in Formula One pushes a driver more than a teammate who's equally fast, or faster. You're both working with the same engineers, same machinery, and nearly identical setups. The only real difference is how well you can execute. And lately, Lando's been doing that better. This isn't just about who finishes ahead on Sundays. It's about the mental battle inside the McLaren garage. Oscar's pace has been undeniable, but his emotional control is starting to show cracks. That's not unusual. Even top-tier drivers have their moments. But in a title fight, you don't get many chances to recover from a misstep. McLaren, to their credit, aren't playing favorites. There have been no signs of team orders, no interference. They're letting the racing decide the pecking order. That's the way it should be. Clean, fair, and straight-up performance-based. Silverstone was a textbook case of good strategy. 2. While others like Leclerc and Russell gambled early, McLaren stayed calm. They waited, made the right tire call, and gave Lando the best shot at victory. And he grabbed it. Oscar, on the other hand, may have been haunted by memories of last year in Hungary, when a poor strategic call cost him dearly. Maybe he thought this was another one of those moments where McLaren needed to correct something mid-race. But the truth is, they nailed it this time. The track conditions, the tire window, the pit stop, everything was spot on. There was nothing unfair about it. So, where do things go from here? The season is hitting a boiling point. With Spa and Hungary just around the corner, the gap between Oscar and Lando is razor thin. One strong weekend from either of them could tilt the balance in their favor. But here's the twist. The biggest threat to Oscar might not be another team. It could be the person sitting just a few meters away in the same garage. We've seen this story before. Teammates fighting for the same prize rarely ends smoothly. Think back to 2016, when things exploded between Rosberg and Hamilton at Mercedes. One mistake, one collision, and it all went downhill. That's the kind of scenario McLaren absolutely needs to avoid right now. But the signs are already there. Oscar's frustration is no longer just under the surface. It's coming through in the car, in his tone, in his actions. And that can go either way. Some drivers use that emotion as fuel, turning anger into speed. Others let it cloud their judgment, pushing too hard, too soon, and ending up in the gravel. Motivation is powerful. But when it tips over into impatience, it becomes a risk. Right now, Oscar has a choice. He can channel this fire the right way, and prove that he's more than just quick, that he's composed, resilient, and ready for a title battle. Or, if the pressure keeps piling on, the cracks could widen. Was his penalty at Silverstone unfair? Depends who you ask. But one thing's certain, his reaction told us more than the incident itself. It revealed a driver who isn't just racing. Others he's wrestling with expectations, pressure, and his own rising profile. Meanwhile, Lando looks calm, focused, unshaken, and that's what might give him the edge in the long run. This fight is far from over. In fact, it's just starting to heat up. But one thing is clear. If McLaren's MCL39 keeps performing like this, the title fight won't be decided by Red Bull or Ferrari. It'll be settled right inside McLaren's own walls. Who blinks first? That's the real story to watch.